Hey folks, welcome back to my channel. Today's practice is all about our hips. So if you've got a desk job or a job where you're sitting for long periods of time, this practice might feel really nice in relieving some of that tension and tightness that we store in that section of our body. So when you're ready, we're going to get started just in a comfortable seated position. So you might be cross-legged like me here, or maybe even kneeling. That might feel better. And always the option to sit down on a pillow or some blankets. This is your practice, and however you'd like to begin, it's really up to you. And when you're feeling ready, you might like to close down the eyes or take a soft gaze here as we find some gentle breaths to begin. And really no need to force or shape the breath in any way here. We're just noticing how it feels to breathe in and out. And perhaps there's a quality to your breath today. Maybe it feels soft and gentle. Maybe the opposite of that, maybe a little like me today, a little breathless, a little heavy, a little short. I'm really knowing there's no right or wrong. It's just noticing how we are arriving for our practice today. And your awareness might gently float to areas of the body that are calling for your attention. Maybe there's a little niggle somewhere that's saying, hey, look after me. Or maybe the opposite of that. Maybe there are areas in the body that feel spacious and easeful. Taking a moment to notice here. And if the mind drifts away, just gently coaxing it back to the breath. Noticing the rise and fall of your chest. The way that breath rolls in you and rolls out. And when you're ready, we'll give the eyes a little blink open, gently coming back to the space. Might feel nice here to take a couple of big shoulder rolls, bring the shoulders up toward the ears, down the back body. A couple of big rolls like this. And you might take one shoulder at a time. Just really finding any movements here with the upper body that feel nice. I'm going to stay here for 2 more long breaths, taking your shoulder rolls or anything else that feels good. Beautiful. We'll come back through center. And from here, if you're in a kneeling shape, just come down to your bottom. And we want to take our right foot behind us. So we'll have a bend in the right leg, and our left leg just stays out in front of us here. And from here, we're walking our fingertips as far forward as you can. And we're going to tent the hands. So come up really nice and high onto the fingertips here. Press your fingertips into the earth and see if you can sit your right butt cheek kind of back toward your mat. So if the right bum is really lifting off the earth, see if you can sit it back slightly here, pressing into the fingertips. Soften your belly, lift your gaze to the sky. Beautiful. Let's go the opposite way. Tuck your chin, round your spine, Almost like you're gazing toward the earth here. There might be a gentle softening into the lower back. And we lift head back toward the sky, soften belly, arch your spine. And this time we'll go all the way down to earth. So you might drop your forearms here. If you feel your right glute lifting off of the mat a little bit too much here, maybe just stay on the hands or the fingertips. Or you might come down to forearms. Maybe you let your head hang heavy. And it might feel nice to take a gentle rocking or swaying side to side here. And you might feel this sort of intensity in the left glute, as really this shape is focusing on that left glute, left outer hip. A little bit of stretch into that space. Beautiful. If you're down on your forearms, coming back up to your hands, let's reach both arms toward the sky. Grow as tall as you can here. Reach your fingertips as far as they can all the way to the sky. And we'll take a twist toward your left hand side. So your right hand might come down onto the left knee and your left arm might place behind your back. Maybe you're up on the fingertips or down on your palm. And can you use your right hand to almost pull into that left knee to turn your torso just that little bit more toward the left hand side? And you might be gazing toward that left hand side or maybe over your left shoulder if that feels okay for the neck. Beautiful. We'll take one long breath in here and long breath out. Beautiful. Keep your right hand where it is and reach your left arm toward the sky and then over your head. See how far you can reach that left arm, almost like you're trying to touch the opposite side of the room that you're in. Can you find a little bit more reach with that top arm? Beautiful. We'll come back through center. Bring both hands behind your back and we'll take a bend in both legs, bring them out in front of you and take some seated windscreen wipers here. So gently swaying knees side to side. Oh, I went to the gym yesterday and this hurts me a lot. Beautiful. And you might stay here with hands behind your back or option to take a little challenge. And that's reaching arms in front of you here. And so this requires a little bit more stability through our core to try and keep that upper body, that torso, really nice and stable as our legs do most of the work here. Nice. We'll come back through center. This time we'll keep our right leg in front of us. And we'll tuck our left foot behind us. So we're just coming to our opposite side with our leg formation here. And we'll walk our hands as far forward as you can. Tent the fingers, soften the belly, send that left glute toward the earth. Lift your gaze toward the sky. Beautiful. We'll take the opposite. Tuck your chin, round your spine, send that left glute to the earth. And we'll take another look toward the sky, softening belly, arching back, lifting gaze. And this time we'll take our fold forward. So you might stay on the hands and just let your head be heavy here, or option to come down to your forearms. And whatever option you've chosen, can you keep sending that left glute toward the earth? And we'll stay here for 2 long breaths. Drawing breath in, long and wide to the body. Letting that breath go. Another long breath in here. And long breath out. Beautiful. We'll walk the hands back towards center and reach them both toward the sky. Grow as tall as you can here. Nice big reach up. You might lift your gaze. And we'll take a twist toward the right hand side of the space this time. Left hand will place on the right knee. And maybe that right hand reaches behind you, or maybe the palm reaches down to the floor. And can you find any more rotation with your torso? So maybe even pressing into your right knee to turn the torso a little bit more toward the right hand side of the room. Nice. Keeping your left hand where it is. Reach your right arm overhead. And then all the way toward the left hand side of the room. You might notice a space here on the right side body. Maybe down toward the hip or the lower back. Can you find a little extra reach with that top arm? Beautiful. We'll come back through center, both arms to sky for a moment. And you might stay here. Here's the challenge. And bring both knees out in front, back to your windscreen wipers, and taking a few of these here. Seeing if you can keep your top body. I can't do it very well today. My glutes are too tight from gym. Seeing if you can keep your torso really nice and steady. Maybe hands go to the lower back or behind you. Nice. Beautiful. When you're ready, we're going to make our way to a tabletop shape. So both hands, both knees on the earth, and just finding some movement here that feels nice. You might begin with a little bit of a rock of the hips side to side. And this might start to evolve into some cat-cow by softening your belly, arching your back, lifting your gaze to your cow. Tucking tailbone, rounding spine, tucking chin to your cat. We'll take a few of these here, this cat-cow movement with the spine. And really just moving through these at the pace of your own breath. You don't have to match these movements to any breath. You're just going at your own pace. And when you're ready, we'll come back through center and get really nice and grounded here into the hands. If it feels more supportive to bring the hands to blocks, if you've got them, go ahead. Or if it feels more supportive to actually come down to the forearms, you're so welcome as well. When we're really nice and grounded, we'll bring our right knee out to the side and start to draw some circles with that right knee. And I wonder how steady you can keep your hips as you're drawing these circles. So almost like all of that movement is just coming from the leg, and our whole body is just stabilizing here to hold. Maybe the slower you go with these, the more steady your body stays. And if you make little sounds like rice bubbles popping, you're in good company. Nice. Let's change directions here with that knee, drawing our circles the other way. Beautiful. The next time that your right knee is out to the side, can you hold it there for a moment? And then we'll extend that right leg nice and long. Point the right toes. How long can you get from crown of your head all the way to your big toe? You might press into your hands here. And let's cross that right knee behind the left knee. And we'll sink the hips into almost a cross-legged child's pose. So you might notice here with the legs crossed, it's a little difficult to sit back. And that's because our bones are stacking here. So something that is not very common for us unless we're sitting cross-legged on a chair. So it might feel like you have less range of movement than in a normal child's pose. And that's normal. One more breath here. Long breath out. Beautiful. We'll come back through center, uncross the legs, back to your tabletop shape. And the invitation here is to take any movements you'd like. I'm going to take a few roll out of the wrists. A little moment to reset between sides and create spaciousness in our practice. So that might even just look like rest for you for a moment. What does your body need as we reset through sides? And then when you're ready, I've swapped sides. We are going to come back to your tabletop and bring your left knee out nice and wide and start to draw those circles with your left knee. Keeping nice and steady here with the upper body. All of that work is just coming from that leg. Nice, let's change directions. And you might be moving through honey today, slow and steady, no rush. Beautiful. The next time that left knee is out to the side, let's hold it there for a moment. You might take a nice big squeeze of the glutes. We'll extend that left leg out nice and long, point the toes, maybe a press into the hands, get as long as you can get. And we'll cross that left knee behind the right knee and come into that funky child's pose variation here. And we're staying for a few long breaths. Beautiful. Very gently come back up to your tabletop. Uncross the legs. And this time we'll tuck toes, send hips toward the sky, downward facing dog. A little moment here to find any movements that feel good. Maybe a pedal out of the feet, lifting and lowering the heels. Can you find a little bit more space in the shape? It might be walking hands and feet a little wider. And we take a steady breath in. Steady breath out. And when you're ready, we'll lift our right leg to sky, three-legged dog, and see if you can take a bend in the right knee, open the hip a little bit more toward the right-hand side of the space. You might even come really tall onto those right fingertips. Beautiful. We'll step that foot as far forward as you can. Get really nice and grounded into the feet here. We rise to stand, arms to sky, crescent lunge. Find your stable base here, maybe a heel toe out of that front foot, arms to sky. Find reach here with both arms. Beautiful. We drop that back heel, open the arms nice and wide, warrior two. See if you can find a little extra depth into that front knee and really reaching arms as far out as you can. Beautiful. From here, turn your right foot to face the left-hand side. Reach both arms toward the sky. Nice big stretch up, star pose. And from here, we'll take an inhale breath. Option to lift your gaze, puff your chest. On your exhale, take a deep bend into both knees and cactus the arms, goddess pose. So we're sitting really far back here into our heels, and there might be a little bit of a rocking or a swaying as you find your stable posture. And on your next inhale breath, we're going to scoop the air between our legs. And on your exhale, back to your cactus. It's an inhale scoop. Exhale cactus. Inhale scoop. Exhale cactus to hold. Might be a little rocking or swaying as we're feeling it in the legs. You got it. And we'll dive all the way forward, straighten out both legs, wide leg forward fold. Let the head be heavy here. Really just finding any movements that feel nice. And we'll walk our hands toward our left leg. Step back to a plank. And really grounding our hands into the earth here, almost like you're pressing the mat away from you. Always the option to drop the knees. We take an inhale breath. Lower belly, chest and head to the earth. Pressing into the hands, gentle lift of the head and chest, baby cobra. We lower it all the way back down. And when you're ready, we'll push back to a child's pose. Sinking the hips down, head lands, little moment to rest here. As we prepare for our other side, what can you notice in the body? Maybe changes to breath. Muscles heating up, blood circulating. All of these little sensations starting to awaken. When you're ready, we're coming back to your downward facing dog. No rush. A little moment here to find any movements that feel nice. Little pedal out of the feet. Beautiful. And when you're ready, left leg to sky. We'll take a bend in that left knee. Open the hip toward the left-hand side of the room. Nice big reach here with that leg. And we'll step that leg as far forward as you can. Get really nice and grounded into the feet. We rise to stand, arms to sky, crescent lunge. A little moment to settle in here. You might heel toe your front foot nice and wide of the mat and really reach your arms to sky. We take an inhale breath. On your exhale, back heel lowers, arms open out nice and wide, warrior two. Really finding a reach with the arms here, as wide as you can. Beautiful. We'll turn that front foot to face the right-hand side of the space. Arms to sky, grow as tall as you can, star pose. It's a big inhale breath. You might lift your gaze, puff your chest. And exhale, deep bend in both knees, cactus the arms, goddess. Maybe a little swaying here, a little rocking. Steadying our breath. And on your next inhale breath, we scoop the air between our legs. On your exhale, opening back out to that cactus. Inhale to scoop. Exhale to land. One more here. Inhale to scoop. Exhale to land. And we dive all the way forward. Wide leg forward fold. Beautiful. From here, just gently bending into the knees to sit the bum back down onto your mat. And we'll take the legs out nice and wide here in a wide leg forward fold. Wide leg forward fold? Seated wide leg forward fold. And we'll walk the hands as far forward as you can. Really let the head be heavy here. It might be a gentle rocking or swaying that feels nice in the lower back. you're ready, very gently come out of this shape and head down onto your back. So when you land, let's bring the soles of the feet together here and the knees out nice and wide. An option to let your hands rest on the hips or on the belly space. And we'll start to slow our breath down by taking some nice, conscious, long breaths here. And here is where you might stay. It might feel nice to continue resting here in this shape. And when you're ready to, we'll take a roll over onto our right hand side. Little moment to be on your side body. And we'll gently press ourselves back up to that seated shape. A little moment here to adjust to how this shape feels. You might close down the eyes. And we'll take a long breath in, a long breath out. And that concludes our practice for today. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, feel free to like or subscribe down below. And I hope you have a really graceful, easeful day. Thank you so much, folks.